Hi, in my previous videos, I was discussing or creating e-commerce application using ASP.NET. But with the advent of AI and the usage of AI assistant or tools like Claude Code and Cursor, I pivoted and created a few tutorials or like previous videos on Claude Code. The major hurdle which I personally faced and most developer might be facing is to get a pro account for easy access to Cloud Code. So unless and until you have a paid account, you can't use Cloud Code. So that problem I have solved in my previous videos. So if you want to watch that, so you can watch it here. I'll be tagging it over here. So with that problem being solved, you don't need any pro account or paid account at this point of time to start experimenting with the AI tool. So with this being done, I have taught how effectively or have given a video on how we can quickly use Cloud Code. So with that being done, now I want that specific Cloud Code to be used with my project, the actual project I was working on. Basically, the major reason and the major like advantage would be if I can use that Cloud Code in my existing tool. So without further ado, let's open my tool first. Let me just open it, and you can see over here, like previously we were building this tool. So let me just try running and see if it works and it's compiling, and then we can see how we can effectively use Cloud Code to enhance or get some insight about our project. So it seems like some issue is there. So no issues. We are not moving further. Let's just try building it. At least we were like able to build it or not. So let's see what's the output. And if we are able to successfully compile it, then we will be moving forward. So don't worry, if you haven't seen this video prior to this, so you can watch my previous video to get a feeler, or stay tuned. We will somehow be able to manage to run it. So you can see like all projects are running, and just to give a quick brief, our web application was there and like 2 layers were there. So most of the videos you might have seen uh, regarding the Cloud Code or other tools, Cursor, they're using their own ID, and Cloud Code is usually mostly being used with the VS Code. So today I'll be using it with Visual Studio. So what we need to do, we need to open the terminal over here. So you can see I have opened the terminal, and it's like I have opened it within the same folder where we are. So you can see we are here in the folder, and this terminal is being open. I can pin this over here, and let me just try running Claude over here. So you can see Claude is running, and we have this over here. And what we are going to do first, which we have learned from our previous video, that we should init and create a CLAUDE.md file. So we are going to init, and this is going to create a Claude file. Let's see what is going to happen and what it brings. So what it's saying, I'll analyze the code base and create a comprehensive Claude file. Let me start this by exploring. So one thing you need to know, that when I used to previously create these videos, there were like certain steps which I was already aware of what I'm going to perform. But as we are shaping and moving towards the AI, so we need to use or stay like um, um, I would say stay informed that we might face certain surprises. So you can see over here, it returns some freeze temporary rate limited. Please retry shortly. So let me just try again. For some reason, it rate limited that. Let's see if it's bring up something or not, because this is a free model. So we could have faced that issue. So again, I've tried it, and hopefully I expect that it's going to create plot file right now. Let's just see what it's doing. So we are just waiting and see. One more thing, and one of the I would say most important thing is that when the AI is running certain thing and it's providing you an information, you should always read that. It's again say for some reason. So let me see. Okay, let's rather than creating this file, so let me just see. Help me evaluate this project. Let's see what happens. So let's see. It want me to like proceed. So I'm selecting yes. Let's see how it moves forward. So it's trying certain things, and let's see what happens and what it brings up. So with this experimentation, let's see how far we can move. And in the meantime, for those who are new to my this video, that we were building a eShop application based on a previously built GitHub open source repository that was eShop, and we are trying to explore certain ways or certain best practices out of it by building it one by one. I'll be quickly showcasing you the main playlist as well. So if I can get that playlist, so let me show that to you. So you can see here, like this was the course which I've already published. If I quickly scroll, you can see there is a series of videos being created which you can watch and get yourself equipped with like different aspects of creating this application. And this repository is being published as well on the GitHub, so you can reference those as well. So I'll share the link of this in the description of this video as well. So coming back to what it's asking for, so it's asking for certain commands. So let's just focus running it. So bear with me, it might be taking some time. Again, I don't know what's like. Let me try locating another free model. Just give me a minute. So I have switched to another free model. So let's see if it works or not. So let's just try running in it, and let's see. I don't know if it's going to work or not. I am currently using NVIDIA Duometron 3 Super model. So let's see how it works or works or not. Let's see. Seems like the bash is running, but it's still I can't comment. This is something which you have to bear because we are using the free model. Not even in the free model, even in the paid model, if you have utilized your limit, you have to wait for the like your quota to get refreshed. So this is something which the developers is going to be accustomed to. So don't worry on that part. But at this point of time, when I run in it, so what it's trying to do, it's trying to search for a pattern, and it's like working around the code. So let's see what it brings. It's searching for a specific pattern, like it's looking at the CS files, and it's you can see that it's looking at the project file, trying to grasp the project related information. You can see the second project, it's like looking for that, and again the program.cs file. So you can relate this that this our like the Claude code is searching for a specific pattern on these files and try to build its context and knowledge. And let's see how soon it can create or init that file. And as I am experimenting with this new model of NVIDIA, so I don't know how quickly I am going to get the results. So I'm somewhat on a similar page as of you watching, that it's going to respond me for the very first time. as I've been using it was for the very first time. So let's see what happens. The tokens are still slow. It's taking a while. So you can see before creating the file and before moving forward, I want to quickly show you that what it does. It's just shown like text of the cloud.md file, and it says the file provides guidance to cloud core when working. The development setup and each everything have been like created over here. And as I've already mentioned in my previous video, that I always use yes unless and until I'm very proficient in AI. I would always be using yes because I want to know what this cloud code is doing behind the scenes. So let's just allow him to create. I'm just allowing it one command or one instruction at a time. So it's going to write the file. So let's see where it's going to write the file. Then we'll be exploring it and see how we are going to work on what's going to happen moving forward. So it says that is now located. Okay, so you can see it's already uh, mentioned that it have created that file, but we can't see it over here. So let me just do one thing, because not all files are getting shown over here. So if I can see somehow, because it's at the same location, you can see this file is here, but it's not the part of the solution as of yet. So I should try adding it. So let's just try add existing item. The reason I could have asked Claude Code to include it, but I'm trying it on my own just to make a mix of some manual thing. And so you can see this file have been added. So you can see the Claude Code file is there, and whatever have been written over there is here. We will try to give a quick look at it. So you can see Cloud file is there, and it's provide us with the development setup, and then building the project and running the project. It also highlights how it's going to run and the NuGet packages. Then it tells about the solution structure. For those who haven't watched the previous videos, this will help us get a quick grasp of what our project is doing. So this solution tries to follow like clean architecture principles with three main projects. So one is the application core. It contains the business logic, entities, interfaces. It even highlights like entities, interfaces, and the services being there. A specification is there. Then it says the infrastructure with data access and external concerns. Entity framework core have been used, ASP identity implementation have been used, and migrations are there. Then it says about the presentation layer as well. So it says the MVC controller have been used, application services and DTOs are there, and the CS file. So then it highlights the key architectural pattern. You can see this is one which I've already explained in my previous videos. I've touched base in I repository, like the repository pattern using I repository and ISync repository. It touches on those. Then related to dependency injection, we have done certain things, so it highlights that. Then we have used a specification pattern to filter out certain data. So it even highlights that because it's able to read all our code base. Then it says like EF correlated things have been done, and again it talks about the clean architecture. Then comes the database context. In our very last video where we have left this project, we have tried to segregate the database context. So it tells about like this is the catalog context and this is the app identity context. So, and one more thing, both are configured to use in memory because we weren't using any SQL server based database. So this highlights that as well. Then it comes and say what's being like not being available. Running test when it says that no test project currently exists. So it means it want or it suggests to add testing, we can add testing. So it tells about the migration, then the important files, it tells about, I'm quickly skimming that to make the video shorter. Then it tells about the technology stack, like we are using 9.0 ASP.NET Entity Core SQL Server, and then whatever else is being there, and then comes the code convention, so it mentions each and everything. So now get back to our project. So is there any suggestion based on your context for improvement in this project? I'm currently providing a very, I would say, general or broad question rather than saying go and do this. I'm just asking for the suggestion. Let's see what it says. And one more thing which I personally witnessed, like when I was using the previous model, that model have suggested me to for the certain improvement, but this model is not suggesting me anything, so I have to explicitly ask for it. So let's see, because this way we'll be experimenting with different models as well. So one more thing, you might have seen like some videos do suggest that you can use models locally, but that requires a lot of time downloading that specific model. Usually they are in terms of GBs, and your system needs to be very powerful to run those. So if you can handle that, you can try downloading a model, and then even without internet you can use that. But I personally recommend using this online model. You can switch between different free models at this given point of time and try experimenting and getting yourself familiar with new models coming down the road. So this is my personal opinion. This model, I personally think that it's taking a while, but let's see what issues or list it have provided to me. So based on the what it says, based on the current state of the repository, I can provide some suggestion for improvement. Let me what I have observed. What it says, it follow clean architecture principles. It says ASP.NET Core, and then it again tells potential improvement. It says add testing infrastructure. What it says, like add some test. Basically, in AI, tests are way more important than it was in like a era prior to AI, because AI only knows that if there are certain tests, so it try to validate its code against those tests. But if you do not have any test, so it just try to complete and compile the code, and it doesn't guarantee what the expected result is going to be. So test is one of the testing, and adding a test or test framework is one of the most crucial things, and it's highlighting it right away. So it says there is no current project, and adding an unit or this, then it says implement real database support. So it says like in memory is not persistent. So if you want to, it says like it's great for production but not production. So great for product development but not production. So AI, we know that we have just used that to uh, keep ourselves moving fast rather than getting stuck with that DB migration things. So we'll see to it. If we need to do, we'll do. Then it says add validation and error handling. So it says certain things are not being handled properly. Then it says logging, add structured logging using Siri log or built-in logging. So it's suggested for. Then it says API documentation, like add any Swagger UI or something. So then it says about the security improvement. It says like implement rate limiting. So these, not just the coding thing, it have started suggesting about the security improvement, and from a scalability and a rate limiting perspective, it's suggesting that you should implement this. It says do this, and then it asks for performance optimization, adding caching or something, CI/CD pipeline and documentation. So we just see, Let me just, so it's, would you like to elaborate any of these suggestions? I would say, can we use this as a roadmap for within Claude.md? Despite the Claude.md needs to keep what the current architecture is. I am asking a sort of a vague, or it might be a wrong question to ask, but I am asking. Let's see how it responds. Can you use this as a roadmap within file, or do you suggest any other file being created as a roadmap? So let's see what happens. I'm not aware how it's going to respond. So let's see what happens. So it's like again running and trying to do certain things. Uh, Let me see how it responds. And we aren't touching any code as of yet, and I personally don't want to. So what it says, let's see what does it say. So it's rather than doing no even configuration via I option, the following areas represent opportunity. So what it says, like instead of creating a new file, it suggested an improvement roadmap. You can see triple hash over here, and then it suggested or categorize it in terms of short-term improvement, like testing infrastructure or this error handling. Then it categorized it as a medium-term improvement. You can see here in line 1112. So it says there as well, which API documentation, production. Then it says about the long-term improvement, which is around like scalability, performance, any advanced features, the CI/CD, monitoring and analytics. So it's asking me, yes, I want this to be added to Claude. And let's see, then we'll be reopening the Claude file again. So it have updated this file, and let me see what it have done. Let's see if it's there or not. You can see, apart from what the project is currently doing, so we do have a roadmap as well. So ask let me just ask one thing, and if it can do or not. Can you commit and push this code to the remote repository? But before committing and push, do provide me with the description for commit, and once I approve, then commit. So let's see what it does. So I have asked him, like, are you able to commit it or not? So let's see what it does. Now what it does when I ask, so it's just identify on which like branch I am. So it gets the git status command to track on which branch I am, and it says it's up to date. Then it suggests me, I'll create a commit for adding the Claude file with guidance for Claude code and improvement roadmap. What is going to be the commit description? So it's saying add Claude me with development guidelines and improvement roadmap for this project. The commit includes this and that. Please approve this commit and I will proceed with coming. Yes, approved. So let's see how it responds. And then we will see if this file, if you can see a add sign over here. if it's going to get changed or not. I'm just trying to see how it's going to do it, and then we will see it within the repository as well. So it do requires approval. So let's just, you can see it's trying to use git add cloud.md. Basically it's going to add it, and so first it's asking me to add. So let's just see this add, a plus sign should have been changed to something else. Let's see if it works or not. Let's just see if it works the way I'm expecting or if it comes with something else. So what it does, it again asks for the commit. So now it's, if it's added, so it's asking a commit with a description. So I am give it approval. So git commit dash m, I have provided the approval for that, and let's see what's going to happen. You can see a log file is over here. So instead of the plus sign, so now it's asking me to push git push origin master. So first it added with the git add command with the file name, then it asks for the git commit with a message dash having a parameter dash m, and now it's asking for git push origin master. So I have allowed that, and let's see what. So you can see it's just identified which repo I'm using, and I'm going to copy and I'll be using it hopefully. Okay, unfortunately, okay, continue. So I want to use that git repo. So let me just try. Okay, I should have copied this way because otherwise it might hinder. github.com slash hello hub slash eShopCKC.kit. So I'm going to use that one. Let me just quickly, and you can see I've successfully committed and pushed the code to the remote repository. This commit include this, and the cloud file will help. So you can see we have the file with us. So let me just try running a new window, and let me just open that repo. So I have the repo with me. Let me just, let's just quickly see that 2 minutes ago, a commit have been pushed and it's like coming through. So you can see this new commit is here and we can use that. So it's really good to see that the file have been pushed and we are able to get it. So let me just close this. So I'm very hopeful that you are able to learn something beneficial. We haven't touched any command. We haven't written any code, despite this push doesn't include any code, but we haven't done anything. All we have just done some prompting based on our thinking, and based on that thinking, the system and the model is providing us feedbacks, and we are just guiding and driving this to make our life easier as a coder. So if you like this video, so uh, feel free to like and subscribe the channel. I am going to share more this type of videos based on AI improvement in productivity that will be helping you shape up yourself as a new AI assisted developer in the new era. So thank you. Thanks for watching. Bye.